Hey everyone, what's up? Newbie Snake here. How are you all doing today? Did all of you get a good grind out of the Obito event? Well, whether you've grinded or not, we now have a new event. It is the Summer Gacha featuring your lovely ladies or your favorite waifus in their swimsuits, and the Summer Event Mission. I'll be going through the details regarding both the gacha and the event mission, so let's get started right away. So first up, we have this summer gacha right here. The first thing you need to know is that the first multi-pull that you're going to do, like the one that gives you 10 units, will guarantee you one of the four ladies. Alright, so either the 5 stars Sakura, 5 stars Hinata, or the 4 stars Ino, and 4 stars Tenten. And also, you notice the first time you do a multi-summon, it's only going to cost you 30 ninja stones instead of the usual 50. Alright, so that's the first thing you want to know. Secondly, you also see this fever meter. Okay, so if you click on the button over here, alright, you will actually see that when you reach 100%, you're guaranteed either the 5 stars Sakura or the 5 stars Hinata. Actually, it's stated right here in the sentence. It says when your meter is full and you're going to do the next multi-summon, you're going to be guaranteed a 5 stars Sakura or 5 stars Hinata. You can also click on this button over here for the content, and I'm just going to click on it. So the first time you do a multi-summon right here, it's going to guarantee you one of the 4 ladies, right? So 96% chance of getting the 4 stars Ino or Tenten, and 4% chance of getting the Sakura or Hinata, all right? The next multi-summon that you're going to do, it's only going to be 2% for Sakura and Hinata, 9% for Ino and Tenten, and, you know, the rest are just the regular stuff, okay? And if you are doing your multi-pull during the fever meter, you get 100% chance to either get the Sakura or Hinata, all right? So one of the two, all right? Not both of them. So that's that for you guys. And yeah, so let's go through each of the units with all of you. So as you guys can notice, both the Sakura and Hinata actually has a 6 stars form, like for awakening, which is cool, but the Ino and Tenten does not, all right? So I'm going to go through each of them with you. So over here, that's her stats. Over here, that's 28 cost for for Sakura. I was gonna call her stamina. Anyways, first skill is a taijutsu type. Trigger speed is fast. Chakra cost is 75. What it does is she deals 7 times her attack as attack damage to a single target enemy, and there's also a chance to lower down the opponent's agility by 40%. All right. And also over here, there's this new status being introduced, all right? So this new status, I actually had to look up Google Translate for this because it seems kind of hard to translate. Apparently, even Google Translate from Japanese to English doesn't have like a proper name for it. It just shows up with the same kanji in the English side. So apparently I had to change this to Chinese to translate because, as you guys know, kanji characters in Japanese are actually Chinese characters, right? They've taken the Chinese characters and named them as kanji. And kanji literally just means the Chinese characters. Anyway, so I had to translate from Chinese. And with that, the closest thing it came to was the lingering summer heat. I would like to translate it more as heat stroke, you know, because if you cause your opponent, you know, into like this heat stroke status, so that makes more sense, right? Instead of the lingering summer heat, I guess that makes sense too, but think of it as heat stroke. So basically it's like a negative thing. It's what you get when you stand in the sun for too long and then your body can't take it anymore, and then you start to see blurry visions, no colors, and things like that, right? But anyways, the reason why I need to explain it to you guys is because if or when your opponent is under the heat stroke status, your enemy will take 2 times the damage, all right? So 2 times the 7 times damage right there, okay? And also, once you used if you use skill 1 and if yourself is under the midsummer status, that's another new thing, all right? So if you're under the midsummer status, your damage will be 1.5 times higher, all right? So it'll be 1.5 times 7, all right? And then if your opponent is under the heat stroke status, your damage will be 2 times 7. The max damage you can deal, like the max damage multiplier on top of your original damage is 3 times, all right? So 2 times 1.5, it's not 3, right? Wait, is it? Anyways, I'm not going to check that right now. I know my math kind of sucks. I can't really do them. But anyways, what I want to let you know is even if you add both statuses together, like the heat stroke status or the midsummer status together, the max output damage you're going to do, I mean the bonus on top of your 7 times attack, is going to be 3 times that. So the max you will ever do with the bonuses, it's going to be 3 times 7, which is 21. All right, so it won't go over that. So that's it. So second skill, I'll explain what those statuses are in a second when I explain to you about Hinata, and stuff, because they actually all add up, all right? Okay, so over here, this is the no skill type. Trigger speed is fast, chakra cost is 60. What it does is it debuffs the enemy's whole team's attack and defense by 50%. So it decreases their attack and defense by 50% and also puts them under the heat stroke status, all right? This special status does absolutely nothing, all right? There's no effects on this. So this is what it means, okay? Over here, there's this, not fine print, but the description. It's saying it does nothing. The only thing it does is basically to buff Sakura's skill 1 and also affects Ino and Hinata and such, all right? But the effect itself has nothing. So it won't do like, burning damage every turn or whatnot, all right? So nothing for the status, just to be used for skill 1 and stuff. So ability number 1, abilities over here, leader skill. It buffs all blue type attribute units, buffs their attack and defense by 30%. And ability number 1, when your chakra is above 80%, your attack and skill damage is increased by 70%. And ability number 2, all incoming water type skill damage is halved, and after every action, your chakra is recovered by 3%. All right? So now let's take a look at the 6 stars version of Sakura, and then I'll go back to the skills, okay? So now I click on 6 stars. The only changes are ability number 1 and 2 over here at this page, if you guys can take a look. So ability number 1, now instead of chakra being 80% up, you have to, you just need to have the chakra above 50%. So when your chakra is above 50%, your attack and skill damage is increased by 100% instead of 70% from 5 stars, okay? Ability number 2, again, same thing. All incoming water type skill damage is halved, but after every action, your chakra is now recovered by 10% instead of 3%. Okay, so now let's take a look at skill number 1 and skill number 2 for the 6-star Sakura. So if you guys take a look at the chakra cost, it's now changed from 75 chakra cost to 60. And for skill number 2, trigger speed is changed from fast to fastest. And chakra cost is from 60 to 50, okay? So now let's take a look at skill number 1. Skill number 1, it adds a special effect, which is it'll now ignore the enemy's defense by 10% and then dealing the 7 times attack damage as attack to the enemy, all right? And also now you will lower down your enemy's agility by 50% instead of 40%. And also in the 6 stars version, it doesn't say a chance to lower down the agility by 50%. It just says lowers down the enemy's agility by 50%. Again, sometimes they leave out the chance to do it, but you know it's a chance because sometimes it doesn't land, right? So again, over here it says, like, it doesn't say there's a chance, so it might land every time, but sometimes you might still miss depending on your enemy. I don't know yet, but based on experience, sometimes that happens, all right, with the lower tier, quote unquote, characters. So for example, for like the really old version 1 or 2 Orochimaru, even though the debuff doesn't say there's a chance to do it, but you know it's a chance because he almost never lands the hit, all right? But if, let's say, for like the Amaterasu Itachi, even though it says a chance, or I forgot if it does not, it lands the hit most of the time. So really depends. So let me know if you guys have used her and see if it lands 100% of the time. Who knows? Okay, so over here now it's different. When your opponent is under the heat stroke status, your damage bonus is now 2.5 times. So 2.5 times 7, okay? And if you're under the midsummer status for yourself, your damage is now 2 times. The max you will do, like with all the bonuses added up together, will be 5 times. So the max you ever do is 5 times 7, and ignoring the enemy's 10% defense, all right? So second skill, it'll buff your whole team. It'll debuff the enemy's whole team's attack and defense by 60% now. I believe it was 50% before. Yep. It'll now debuff them by 60%. And also, it will lower down the enemy's skill trigger speed by 1 stage. So much like her husband, Sasuke, or I mean you guys, sorry, because, you know, she might be one of your favorite waifus, right? Anyways, jokes aside, it has the same effect as Sasuke, all right? So it decreases the enemy's skill trigger speed by 1 stage. And also, again, causing the heat stroke status. And again, the heat stroke status doesn't do anything. So that's it. That's it for Sakura, and she belongs to Konoha Village. So now let's move on to fans' favorite, Hinata. Okay, so Hinata's stats are not as pretty. She has the lower HP and lower defense in comparison. Skill number 1 is Bakugan. Trigger speed is fast. Chakra cost is 70. What she does is she deals 7% plus 1,500 damage to a single target enemy, and also there's a chance to bind the enemy, all right? So there's a chance to cost a binding status. And also, when you are under the midsummer status, your damage will be increased. I mean, you'll deal 2 times like a damage bonus. So 2 times damage bonus on top of the 7% plus 1,500 damage, all right? So again, remember, there's 2 statuses going on right now. The midsummer status and heat stroke status, they're different. So heat stroke is to negatively affect your enemy. Midsummer status is positively affecting your own units, okay? Your own swimsuit units. Okay, anyways, so when your enemy is under the heat stroke status, you will deal 1.4 times the bonus damage on top of your 7% plus 1,500 damage, okay? So the max damage bonus that you can do is 2.8 times. All right, 2.8 times the damage bonus on top of the 7% plus 1,500 damage. Skill number 2, it's a no-type skill. Trigger speed is normal. Chakra cost is 70. What it does is she heals your whole team, recovers your whole team's HP by a large amount, and also chakra cost is decreased by 20%. So you will be put under a status where your chakra cost will be decreased by 20%. So it's a status where it will always, where whenever you use your skills, your chakra cost will be lowered by 20%, all right? I don't know how many turns it lasts for, they never tell you. And also, it will put you or your whole team under the midsummer status. So now it clears it up even more, because you guys might be wondering, when I was reading about Sakura, like, what do you mean by the midsummer status? But now it's explained here from Hinata, because Hinata is the person who causes midsummer status for your whole team. And Sakura is the person who causes the heat stroke to the enemy's team, all right? So this buffs your whole team, while Sakura debuffs the enemy's team, okay? All right, so she puts your whole team under the midsummer status, and also over here, the description saying that this midsummer status does absolutely nothing as well. It's just there for your damage bonuses, all right? So abilities, I was gonna say ability number 2 again for some awkward reason. Anyways, abilities. Leader skill. It buffs all yellow type attribute units, buffs their defense and agility by 30%. Ability number 1. When your HP is above 90%, your skill damage is increased by 80%, and also all incoming skill damages are lessened, all right? Ability number 2. Incoming water type skill damage are halved, and after every action, your HP is recovered by 5%. And then she belongs to Konoha. Now let's go back, but let's now take a look at the 6 stars version, all right? So I'm going to talk about ability number 1. When your HP is above 50% instead of 90%, your skill damage is increased by 120%. And all skill damage, like all incoming skill damage, are lessened, all right, not halved. So same thing, basically. They're all just lessened. The only difference is your HP now only needs to be above 50%, and your damage is now increased by 120% instead of 80%. And ability number 2, all incoming water type skill damage are halved, and after every action, your HP is recovered by 15% instead of 5%. And skill number 1, the things that are different are the chakra cost and trigger speed. Trigger speed is now fastest, and chakra cost is 60 instead of 75. And the speed was fast, and now it's fastest. Skill number 2, trigger speed is the same, but chakra cost went from 70 to 60. So over here, the damage has been buffed a lot for her 6 stars version. Now it will deal 7% plus 4,000 damage to a single target enemy. And then also it will put your enemy under the binding status. And again, just like Sakura, it doesn't say a chance to cause binding status. So maybe it will have 100% binding status effects, okay? Or sometimes when you're fighting like hardcore bosses, maybe it won't happen, depending if they will get affected by it or not. All right, so over here, when you are under the midsummer status, your damage will be 2 times. And then also, if your enemies are under the heat stroke status, your damage bonus is also 2 times. The max you deal is 4 times. And from 5 stars, it was 2.8 times. If you guys remember, now it's 4 times the maximum damage bonus. So 4 times 7% plus 4,000%. Guys, this is probably our highest damage Hinata ever, comparing to the previous 2 or 3 versions of Hinatas. So she's actually currently the best version Hinata for attacking wise, if you guys are just using her for attacking, all right? But anyways, there are, I believe, much better units out there that can deal higher attacks. But still, it's Hinata, right? It's good. All right, so skill number 2, no type skill. What it does is it will still recover your whole team's HP, recovers them by a large amount, and also increases their defense by 80% now. That's a really good buff, because before it doesn't buffs their defense. Now it actually buffs the defense by 80%. And also it'll put you under a status where you'll like your skills will cost lower amounts of chakra. Now the chakra cost reduction rate is 35% instead of what it was, like 20. Yeah, it was 20%. Now it's 35% decrease in the chakra cost, which is really nice. And also puts your whole team under the midsummer status, when again midsummer status doesn't do anything. All right. Now let's move on to Ino. And also, to be honest, even though I don't really like Ino because her personality kind of suck, she still has the best art comparing to the other 2 or the other 3. Well, at least in my opinion. But anyways, art aside, let's talk about her abilities and skills and stuff. So it's a 4-star unit, so you don't expect to see, really high stats or anything. First skill is a secret type skill. Trigger speed is normal. Chakra cost is 80. What it does is it will put a single target enemy, a chance to put a single target enemy under the heat stroke status. And that's it. That's what it does, like for this skill. And again, over here, the description says heat stroke status does absolutely nothing. All right, there's no effects on it. Again, the only thing is it boosts those skill number 1 or whatnot for Hinata and Sakura. So skill number 2, no type, trigger speed fastest, chakra cost 50. What it does is it debuffs the enemy's whole team, debuffs their attack, defense, and agility by 50%. But again, there's a chance to do it. It's not a for sure debuff. It's a chance to debuff the enemy's whole team's attack, defense, and agility by 50%. And abilities. Leader skill, it buffs all type units. It will lower down all the chakra cost by 15% for everyone. Ability number 1, max HP and agility is increased by 30%. And ability number 2, incoming water type skill damage are halved, and there's a low chance that you will dodge skills. All right, so low chance of dodging skills. And finally, we have Tenten with insanely low amount of defense at 2,716. She might get one-shotted because with her HP at 4,500, I believe 8 Gates guy will only need to kill you with his first punch, because you know he does 2 punches with his auto attack. I think the first one will be enough to kill her. But anyways, skill number 1, weapon type skill. Trigger speed is normal, chakra cost is 70. For some reason I was going to say 60. What it does is it deals 7 times the attack damage as attack to the enemy's whole team, and also there's a chance to cause confusion status. Skill number 2, no type skill. Trigger speed normal, chakra cost 70. What it does is it buffs your whole team's agility by 50% and also puts your whole team under the Midsummer status. And again, Midsummer status does absolutely nothing except for buffing the skill number 1 of Hinata and Sakura. Over here, leader skill, it will lessen the negative status effects for all type units. Ability number 1, attack and agility is increased by 30%. And ability number 2, all incoming water type skill damage are halved, and chakra cost is now decreased by 20%. Again, for Tenten only. And that's it for the summer gacha. Now let's take a look at the summer event missions. And sorry guys, my current screen is now kind of stuck. Well, it was stuck at the 1010 screen. You guys will notice there's this stucking issue or lagging issue from time to time. Again, because Air server always have, you know, issues for some awkward reason. But yeah, so hopefully they will be improved soon. Okay, so now if you guys actually take a look at this, let's take a look at the featured characters first. If you guys have the featured 5 stars Hinata and 5 stars Sakura, I believe their 6 stars version will help as well. The points bonus will be at 12 times all the way up to 20 times, all right? From Nindo level 1 all the way up to Nindo level 11. Damage bonus also at Nindo 1, your damage bonus is 4 times all the way up to 5 times at max Nindo level. And again, in order to increase a character's Nindo level, you either have to feed the exact same character, like same card, to that character, or feed them with the Nindo level increase item, which looks like a piece of paper. We now have the 3 stars version, 4 stars version, or 5 stars version. All right, so use those papers wisely. And do not mix it up with the Chunin exam paper, because those are not for feeding your characters. Those were only materials used to evolve or awaken your Sarada, Boruto, and adult Sasuke, which I've covered in my previous videos. So now let's take a look at these 2 characters. 4 stars Ino, 4 stars Tenten. Damage bonus is 3 times all the way up to 4 times, and the points bonus is 4 times all the way up to 6 times, depending on your Nindo level. And finally, we have the old swimsuit units, and including Kakashi and Iruka. Points bonus only from 2 times all the way up to 3 times, depending on their Nindo level. They will not give you damage bonus. And also, friend poll 5 stars Sasuke is also included as well. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the rewards and stuff. So we went through all those things, and I'm not going to go through Temari, Tsunade, Kakashi, and Iruka. Just know that they're only for your collection purpose. All right, you'll probably never use them. You might, but it's just for looking cool. Other than that, they have not much purpose. Okay, so now let's talk about the ninja gear. So we have 2 new ninja gears. This time we have the Sakura's hat and Hinata's pink upper wear. This is what's translated to. Okay, so if you equip this to anyone else other than the following Sakuras, your chakra cost is decreased by 15%. It's a chakra item, so it's pretty cool. Chakra cost decreases by 15%. If you equip this hat to the following Sakuras, your chakra cost is decreased by 25%, and your max HP is increased by 50%. And then we have the pink upperwear for Hinata. If you equip this item to anyone else other than the following Hinatas, your HP will be increased by 80%, and also incoming negative status effects are halved. If you equip this to the following Hinatas, you are totally immune to negative status effects, and your max HP and defense is increased by 50%. Okay, and I know you guys actually see all the following items. I'll go through that in a second with you guys. All right, so if you guys take a look over here, I've completed all of them. Surprise, surprise, I rarely complete these before I record, but anyways, I had some time today, so I decided to play them before I record them. So anyways, 4 stamina, 6 stamina, 8 stamina, 15 stamina, 20 stamina, all the way up to 30 stamina mission. So we have C rank, B rank, A rank, S rank, you know, the super S rank or the super S rank right here. So this is like the Rio S rank, and then the super, the Rio S rank. But anyways, just name them by the stamina, I guess. It's less confusing. So basically all of them has the same requirements. The first one is you have to have a team of 5. The second one is you cannot have anyone die on your team, which includes your friend. Thirdly, you will have to have a S rank rating by the end of the mission. All right, so just do that, and boom, you get whatever you know you can get for the rewards. Okay, sometimes it's gems, sometimes titles, sometimes other stuff. So it's gems over here and things like that. All right, so what I really want to actually go through with you guys regarding this event is actually the points, like what you can get and stuff. All right, because I'm pretty sure you guys will have no trouble doing the event mission. So now let's take a look at this. So the very back, some of you actually asked me this because some of you are probably newer and have never seen this before. Remember, these things over here, the green card and the gold card right here, these are just your titles, all right? The titles that means absolutely nothing, just to make your name look cool. It'll be like newbie, and then it'll say something like coolest ninja ever, something like that, all right? That's your titles, all right? But you don't really need them. But if you do want to collect all the titles, then go ahead and do that with the beach flags. All right, so to earn a beach flags, you just have to keep grinding the summer event mission. They will give you the points. All right, these are the quote-unquote points, okay, that you'll be getting. So if you use the featured characters, those are the bonuses that you'll be getting. So if you get like the 4 times bonus, then it will be 4 times whatever you will be getting as drops. So if let's say you get 10 points after you complete a certain mission, instead of 10 points, you now will times 4, then you get 40 points, right? Simple. And remember, each character is stacked. So if let's say you get a 4 times points bonus character, and then let's say if Hinata does 4 times, I forgot if she does or not, I have to like go back to my own video. If let's say Hinata does 4 times points bonus and Sakura does 4 times points bonus, then 4 times plus 4 times equals 8 times, then now your points bonus is 8 times, all right? So if you can manage, then put all 4 of your team members as those swimsuit characters. Then just bring a friend who is really good at damaging stuff, and just kill them off with your friend's character, because your friend's points bonus will not apply to your team anyways. Make sense? Okay. Anyway, so after you've collected all the points or your beach flags, now you can trade for things. The titles right here, they each cost 300 beach flags, and these can only be traded once. Again, because you only need 1 of these titles. They say the same thing, right? And then over here at 400 beach points, you can get 100,000 gold. And in this 6 stars book is, again, remember guys, this is your training material. So much like Rock Lee training material, but this gives you way more EXP. These are actually tradable for just 120 beach flags, and you can trade for 100 times. And then over here, 5 stars Rock Lee training material, you can only trade, you will be able to trade them for 200 times, and they will only cost you 40 beach flags. And over here, these are your 4 stars materials to make the ninja gear. All right, this is the 4 stars: green orb, white orb, red orb, blue orb, light blue orb, etc. And then these are just 400 beach flags, and not just 400 because I only have 600, so these are kind of costly. But anyways, you can only trade them for 10 times. And then over here, guys, these are your Nindo level increase items. These are your papers, all right? Remember, Nindo level increase items only has 3 kanji characters. The Chunin exam paper, however, has tons of characters. It has like 5 or 6 or whatever, right? So just remember how they look like. These things with 3 characters right here, these are your Nindo level increase item. It will say here, it says something Nindo level, all right? So if you're asking why is there 3 stars, why is there 4 stars? Because they act like the skill scrolls level increase item. They have a chance to increase that. The 5 stars Nindo level increase paper will have 100% chance to increase the Nindo. So sometimes if you feed this to your character, they might still not increase the Nindo level of the character because there's only a chance to do it. All right. So you can only trade this for 5 times. You can only trade this one for 2 times, and then the cost for these are like 400 and 800. All right. So over here, these are like the more interesting stuff as well. At 2,000 points, like the beach flags, you can actually trade for 1 of the 5 stars blue crystals. If you guys are wondering what these does, these are for some 5 stars characters to be able to awaken to 6 stars. All right, so some characters need these, while some other characters will require 3 of these orbs instead of the blue crystals. All right, so depending on what characters you're trying to awaken from 5 stars to 6 stars. All right, so these 6 stars orbs, it's very cool that we can actually trade for them in these shops, but then it costs 4,000 beach flags. All right, you can only trade for 1 time for each of these. All right, so you can only get the yellow one once, blue one once, red one once, etc. And then over here, all right, we actually haven't seen these before, so I will go through these with you guys. That's actually very cool. So again, these are all 2,000 beach flags each. These ones we've seen, so I'll probably not go through these ones. I'm only going to go through the other ones, all right? But I'll go through them in a second. So over here, you guys will see the Hinata's pink top and the Sakura's hat, also tradable for 4,000 points. And at 500 points, you guys can trade for these swimsuit characters over here. But in order to get the new ones, you need 4,000 points for the 4 stars and 8,000 points for Hinata and Sakura. All right. So now let's go through the ninja gear. All right. So this is the yellow flower. I believe it's for Ino. Yep. It's Ino's flower right here. If you equip this to anyone else other than the following Inos, after every action, your chakra is recovered by 10%. And if you equip this to the following Inos after every action, chakra is recovered by 20%. And when you are damaged, there's a chance that you'll recover 10% of your HP. Okay? So that's it. It's funny how it says I don't have a single Ino. I believe the 4 stars ones are inside my ninja treasure box, that place where you put them, where you don't really use them anymore. So yeah, so I guess that's why it doesn't detect it. Okay, so over here we have the whistle. It's for Iruka. So max HP and attack increased by 30%. And if you equip this to the following Irukas, max HP and attack is increased by 50% and skill damage is increased by 30%. All right, so over here we have the surfboard. I believe that's for Kakashi. Yep. So attack and agility is increased by 30%. That's the regular effect. But if you equip this to the following Kakashis, your attack agility is increased by 50%. And electric type skill damage is increased by 20%. And then over here we have this lifesaver. If you equip this to anyone else other than the following Tentens, your attack and defense is increased by 30%. But if you equip this to the following Tentens, attack and defense is increased by 80% and your skill damage is increased by 20%. So this is actually a pretty good item actually for Tenten. That's actually very nice. Hey, how come I've never seen this one before? Or maybe I have, but I just forgot. All right. So I said I wouldn't go through this, but I guess I will because we haven't talked about this in ages. But anyways, this is the Tsunade one. So if you equip this to anyone else other than the following Tsunades, your defense is increased by 30%. And for the first 3 turns, incoming water type skills are totally useless to you. So you're immune to them. But if you equip this to the following Tsunades, your defense is increased by 50%. And you're totally immune to water type skill damage. And also, there's a medium chance you dodge skills. So that's actually a pretty good item, guys, because you have a medium chance to dodge skills, not a low chance, so that's pretty good. And if you're fighting like Kisame or anyone else who uses water type in the future that are extremely strong, let's say a raid mission or just like any regular event mission that you have to do that you're fighting against a water type character, this is actually pretty good because you're totally immune to water type. So maybe I should get this one. I forgot if I've already gotten this. But anyways, this is like this the sun oil, it says. Yeah. That's like your sunscreen, I believe. All right, so over here finally we have Tenten's beach umbrella. So if you've equipped, oh man, can't speak now. If you equip this to the if you don't equip this to the following Temari's, wind type skill damage is increased by 40%. But if you equip this to the following Temari's, all skill damage is increased by 70%, and your attack and defense is increased by 40%. Alright, so that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe for more quality content. And as always, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to comment down below and I'll reply wherever necessary. And I will see you all at my next video. So take care and bye now.